Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today we're looking at the deck that I used to get King of Games this season. It's a little controversial because it is for hires, and you guys know how much I've hated for hires since they came out. Well, to be fair, when they came out I tried them, and then it became the degenerate deck that it was. And now that it's fallen off the meta a little bit, I was looking for something to use my junk synchron, the junk synchron, what grows in the graveyard shell. And I just thought for hires, because the idea of having an Armades that's already hard to out for your opponent if you have the back row to protect it, along with a Whiz, just seemed like really strong. So I put this deck together, and I don't even know what kind of win streak I went to. All I know is that my last 10 games, so I was in Legend 1, I got to Legend 2, and I can't remember if that was 5 straight or if I lost and then I won 2. And then I didn't lose any game between Legend 2 and King of Games. So this is the build that I came up with. We're still running the shell, same shell, 3 junk synchron, Paleozoics, what grows in the graveyard, 1 enemy controller. We have 2 mirror walls and 1 wall disruption. I've been becoming more and more of a fan of mirror wall over wall disruption. Destiny heroes can't mass change to dodge a mirror wall because it's a damage step card. It's a continuous trap, so you can flip it on hate grenades and stuff like that. You can pay if you need the attack reduction to stick. So I just really like mirror wall now a little bit more than I like wall disruption. I threw in super rush because super rush is really strong again when you pair it with Armades, because normally people can play around the super rush with something like Canadia, with like an enemy controller, but once they attack into the Armades, they can't activate anything. So, and the same way, if you attack with Armades, you can activate the super rush and you know for sure that it's going to go through no matter what they have. So super rush is strong again, that's why it's in the deck. And then for the for hire engine, pretty standard, 3 beat, 3 seal, 1 Whiz, 1 Dyna, and then 1 recon, just to have that other monster that can special summon the others. The extra deck, just Armades is mainly what you're gonna go into. You can go into Flamble, Urukisas if you need some piercing, junk synchron if you need to get over something big, and then 1 Stardust, just in case, like a Yubel matchup or something like that. But let me show you first what I mean. These are the last 10 duels, and this was my King of Games promo matchup. So I got to Legend 2 and then 5 wins, Legend 3, 5 wins, King of Games. Like I said, I don't even remember how many duels in a row I won in Legend 1 to get to Legend 2. But let's go ahead and show you what the win streak looked like. First we got this Yubel, this weird Yubel Amazonas deck. Now I was asking around, and apparently for hires are still meta. I mean, they're really strong, but honestly I don't see them as much as we used to. It's not like every other matchup. So it was kind of an accidental King of Games. Like, it just kept winning and then I was like King of Games. Basically, the reason why the deck is so good is because your opponent has to spend a lot of resources to get rid of your for hire engine, and then you hit them with that Armades and there's nothing they can do. Or you put an Armades on the board, they're gonna spend a ton of resources trying to get over the Armades, and then you show your for hire engine and you win. Right here, as you can see, he's kind of hiding my back row. I only have 1 negation, so I'm kind of waiting for my junk synchron so I can go into Armades instead. I don't want to just blindly go in, and then we see that we're actually going up against Amazonas. So I'm going to summon Dyna. His life points are already low because he took 1 full hit from my seal. So what I was trying to do here is either force him into attacking with the Amazonas Queen on my Dyna for hire, and then flip my my mirror wall that I'm about to set, and just to kind of chip at the life points slowly until I get my junk synchron, and then I can not care about the back row. He's gonna go for Void Trap Hole. We're gonna go ahead and negate that with Whiz. And since we already spent the negation, we're obviously not gonna try to attack. We're just gonna end the turn. And they know they're low on life, so they're just gonna set more back row. And at this point, I'm okay with what's happening. As you can see, the deck, they have a smaller deck than I have because of all the searches, so they're gonna deck out first. And they finally attack into my Dyna. I have the Super Rush to destroy the Amazoness Queen. We're gonna see a willpower, so we're gonna go ahead and negate that. And then we're also gonna see the Amazoness Onslaught. But now that there's no back row, I feel a little safe, and especially now that I have a Junk Synchron to back me up with. So we're gonna try and destroy the field. We're gonna negate these Amazoness Onslaught. I probably should have negated whenever I attack with my Dyna, but I didn't care. If I could bait an attack into my mirror wall, you know, I was gonna be happy with that. So we clear the board, hit him for 1600. It's gonna set 2 more back row. We're gonna flip the Whis, and I was okay with the willpower and the Canadian right here. I mean, I couldn't negate because I didn't have a for hire car. I just go for the Econ take and finish the game with their own Amazoness Queen. So yeah, this deck just hits you in like waves, and it's really hard for it to brick. If you have your for hire engine, you can start your searches. You know, if you have your beat. A turn 1 Armades with back row is really strong as well. So I think that's what helped me to be able to go on the run. Though I will say the very last matchup, the King of Games matchup, we have the duel. But it was one of the hardest matchups for this deck, Blue Eyes. Which it's really hard for the deck to get over, you know, like 2500 attack with Dyna. I don't have ties that binds. I don't really have anything to increase my attack. So they have to run into my walls for me to get over something like a Blue Eyes. But here we have the mirror match. 2 Armades. So obviously he's got his own. I'm gonna go ahead and summon mine and destroy his by using the enemy controller. You have to main phase it because obviously if I attack, then his Armades goes into effect, and which means I can't activate any cards. So he goes for the Mighty Slugger, but I have a Canadian for that, and I pick up a second one. So I'm sitting pretty good just with this Armades. Junk Synchron right here. He doesn't go. I don't know if he didn't have anything else to summon, or the plan was to leave a monster on the field so that they could tribute and, you know, go for bigger plays. Unfortunately for him, I pick up a Junk Synchron. So we're gonna go into Armades 2.0. And at this point, I mean, with the 2 back row and 2 Armades, there's really not a whole lot they can do. So we're gonna see him set 1 back row, summon the midfielder, go for the mirror wall. But it doesn't matter. I can just use one of my Canadians, and even through the mirror wall, my Armades can get over that midfielder. We deal enough damage to make sure that they can't pay for the wall. And now, once again, we have 2 Armades and a Canadian. So he's forced to set another back row and go for the midfielder. I don't mind my Dyna getting banished. I've already won the duel at this point. So yeah, maybe a little unlucky for them that they went first and didn't really have anything to protect their Armades with. And you know, there are times where you have oh, I skipped the Yugimoto. There are times where you have the Junk Synchron, but if you don't have anything to back, you know, to back your Armades up with, there's no point in summoning him because 2300, it's really easy to get over. Here we have a Yugimoto that I had skipped. Set a card, set a back row. Solemn Scolding on my Junk Synchron, and that's what I mean. Like, he just spent 3000 life points on 1 Junk Synchron, and my deck is like for hire. You know, it's not like, oh, you kill my Junk Synchron, I'm dead. I'm gonna use my Canadian to protect my life. Really unlucky here that I get all seals, so they can't special summon each other. But it's still good enough. I didn't feel any delay when attacking or anything. So it seems worth it to use the Canadian and flip the Decider face down to summon the one from the grave and just, you know, clear his monsters so that we don't have to run into any mass change shenanigans. Unfortunately, he does get a Drill Dark and has ties that bind, so he's gonna be able to clear my field here. but I pick up another Canadia, so I have to crash. And then, you know, just hope to flip my Canadia, summon the other one. Unfortunately, he does have double Cyclone, so I have to make my play, you know, in the main phase, which means he's gonna be able to flip that Celestial back into face up and destroy my Canadia. But I'm still feeling pretty good, you know. We're both in a top deck situation. I top deck beat, and then that's pretty much over for him. We're gonna special summon Seal, search Dinah. You've seen this a million times. You probably lost to this quite a bit. I know I have. So there you go. Banish all the Destiny Heroes in case there was a way for him to stop my attack, which there obviously wasn't. And we get the win. And this is where I thought the win streak was going to be over. I was getting very lucky with the matchups. I didn't run into any spellbooks. I did run into vampires, and you know, won. Destiny Heroes, I was winning. I think I went up against the 4-hire and I also won. But then I finally get the spellbook matchup. This was Duel 4, I believe, of the win streak. 3 or 4, one of those. So we see the Mind Scan, we see the 2 back row. We're gonna try to go for the Junk Synchron and get some cheap damage. But of course, they have Treacherous. So here I thought, okay, this is a lost game. Galaxy Cyclone, yeah, we definitely lost. But there's no Blue Boy yet. So we're gonna be able to summon or beat and or Whiz. Get a search, get some life points, and deal, you know, quite a bit of damage. So now he's got 1200, but there's the Blue Boy. And I can only negate 1. I don't know if I did this correctly. I didn't negate the Spellbook of Secrets. I don't know if I should have just stopped it, you know, stopped everything right there. But I actually negate this one, the Spellbook of Masters. And now I'm just hoping that they don't have a Silent Magician, but of course they do. He doesn't attack, which is good for me. I mean, I had a Mirror Wall, but it was still going to be hard to get over the 3500 Silent Magician, level 8. And all I have is a Super Rush. So I pick up my Junk Synchron, but I don't have enough space to go into my my Armades. But at least now I have an out for the Silent Magician. And then I pick up the Canadian, and at that point, you know, I feel like I've won the duel. So we're going to see Spellbook of Eternity. He's going to do his Spellbook of Fate shenanigans. But it won't matter because his only spellcaster is going to be face down at the end of the turn. So now we can just go for our Junk Synchron play. Summon Armades, and then we have exact lethal. And this is the cool thing. If this was like a battle trap, like say this was a Wall of Disruption, and he's able to activate it on my beat, I have the Mirror Wall, which is it's another point I didn't bring up. I like the fact that you can activate it whenever. So a lot of times I'll just use it to summon a Canadia and go for game. So say this is a Wall of D, I attack, I obviously don't summon my Canadia there. After this gets all resolved, I activate, I flip over my Mirror Wall, summon my Canadia, and then just win. But it was either another Spellbook of Fate or, you know, Spellbook of Organization, whatever it was. And we get the win. And then for the final game, I was like, please give me an okay matchup. And I literally thought, just don't give me Blue Eyes. I was like, I haven't seen a single Blue Eyes in the entire win streak. Because it's really hard when you think about it. Unless you stop their place, unless you stop the Blue Eyes before they get to the field, you have to hope that they run into your walls. Or that you get the Econ and, you know, Econ take for game. So I wasn't very confident in this matchup. To make matters worse, we're going first. So they're gonna get the extra card, which means it's even more likely that they Blue Eyes turn 1. And all we have to show for is a Whiz and a Super Rush. So not even Canadia, you know, to stop the summon or anything. And he even goes into Asherize. Goes for the attack on my Seal, there's nothing I can do. I pick up a Canadia, which is good, and I'm gonna activate it. I probably should have activated that during the draw phase so that he wouldn't summon anything, but I kind of wanted to save it and see if he would hesitate the attack. He goes for Burst Stream of Destruction, and I have to negate that. But unfortunately, since I'm negating the activation, he's still able to attack. So I'm forced to use the Canadia on this Blue Eyes. But look at this field. Azure Eyes, a Blue Eyes face down, and then whatever this is. I have nothing. I have no resources. I have one Super Rush. And I pick up my junk Synchron, and this is where I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, the only Synchro I can go into is Armades. Unfortunately, I don't have a level 9 Synchro, and even if I did, I couldn't really go into it. So my hope was I could either destroy this Azure Eyes using my Super Rush, and then I was done. I didn't have anything to protect this one guy. So I decided to just leave it as it is, leave my Super Rush set, and destroy the Soul of the Whitestone. So he goes for the attack with Cosmo Brain, doesn't flip the Blue Eyes for whatever reason, and that changed the entire game, because now I can get rid of this Cosmo Brain and hope that I top deck like a god. Which, guess what? I get a Wall of Disruption. I couldn't ask for a better card. He goes for the attack on my Whiz, and the crazy thing is, I still shouldn't have won this. Even though I'm using the Wall of D right here, he takes 2200 damage and scoops. Look at this. He was at 1800. The Blue Eyes goes to 600 because he lost 2400. So quick math. If I attack with my Armades, unless I'm doing the math wrong, 2300 minus 600, that's only 1700. He was still alive with 100 life points, but he quit. And I had nothing left. He had a Blue Eyes, an Azure Eyes, and another Blue Eyes. And then once I destroyed this guy and, you know, put him down to 100 life, he was gonna get the Blue Eyes back. So there was no reason for him to quit. He just got mad at the Wall of D, and that's how I got King of Games. So I don't know, it might have been destined for me to go on this win streak, but you tell me, did I use meta? Did I break my own rule by getting King of Games like this? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, let's just say it's a junk Synchron deck, right? But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description, along with my PayPal link if you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate that. And until next time.